Well, welcome everyone to our May the 3rd reading, and congratulations on completing another book of the Bible. We've finished up 2 Samuel. David has finished up 2 Samuel. David has given his son Solomon the instructions to build a temple for God. David has done everything he can to prepare for that for his son Solomon. It's pretty incredible. He's trying to prepare for something that's going to outlive him, obviously. And so David builds an altar. He prepares to hand off this great project for Solomon to build a temple. And so that's the way we end up 2 Samuel. That's a good way of ending up. We are jumping in today back over to 1 Chronicles. And so we're reading again some of the history that we've already heard in some of the other, areas that we've read. And so we're going to have a little bit of repeat, but that's all right. And we're going to jump back in to 1 Kings. So that kind of picks up where David has left off. And now his son Solomon's going to be working to build a temple. He'll become established as the king as well. And we'll see what happens with Solomon. But before we get there, let's jump into 1 Chronicles chapter 23. It says, when David was an old man, he appointed his son Solomon to be king over Israel. David summoned all the leaders of Israel, together with the priests and Levites. All the Levites who were 30 years old or older were counted, and the total came to 38,000. Then David said, from all the Levites, 24,000 will supervise the work at the temple of the Lord. Another 6,000 will serve as officials and judges. Another 4,000 will work as gatekeepers, and 4,000 will praise the Lord with the musical instruments I have made. And then David divided the Levites into divisions named after the clans descended from the three sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari. The Gershonite family units were defined by their lines of descent from Libni and Shimei, the sons of Gershon. Three of the descendants of Libni were Jehiel, the family leader, Zetham, and Joel. These were the leaders of the family of Libni. Three of the descendants of Shimei were Shelomoth, Haziel, and Haran. Four other descendants of Shimei were Jahath, Ziza, Jewish, and Beriah. Jahath was the family leader, and Ziza was next. Jewish and Beriah were counted as a single family because neither had many sons. Four of the descendants of Kohath were Amram, Izhar, Hebron, and Uzziel. The sons of Amram were Aaron and Moses. Aaron and his descendants were set apart to dedicate the most holy things, to offer sacrifices in the Lord's presence, to serve the Lord, and to pronounce blessings in his name forever. As for Moses, the man of God, his sons were included with the tribe of Levi. The sons of Moses were Gershom and Eleazar. The descendants of Gershom included Shebuel, the family leader. Eleazar had only one son, Rehabiah, the family leader. Rehabiah had numerous descendants. The descendants of Azhar included Shelomith, the family leader. The descendants of Hebron included Jeriah, the family leader, Amariah the second, Jehaziel the third, and Jechamim the fourth. The descendants of Uzziel included Micah, the family leader, and Ishiah the second. The descendants of Merari included Mahili and Mushi. The sons of Mahili were Eleazar and Kish. Eleazar died with no sons, only daughters. His daughters married their cousins, the sons of Kish. Three of the descendants of Mushi were Mahili, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the descendants of Levi by clans, the leaders of their family groups, registered carefully by name. Each had to be 20 years old or older to qualify for service in the house of the Lord. For David said, the Lord, the God of Israel, has given us peace, and he will always live in Jerusalem. Now the Levites will no longer need to carry the tabernacle and its furnishings from place to place. In accordance with David's final instructions, all the Levites, 20 years old or older, were registered for service. The work of the Levites was to assist the priests, the descendants of Aaron, as they served at the house of the Lord. They also took care of the courtyards and side rooms, helped perform the ceremonies of purification, and served in many other ways in the house of God. They were in charge of the sacred bread that was set out on the table, the choice flour for the grain offerings, the wafers made without yeast, the cakes cooked in olive oil, and the other mixed breads. They were also responsible to check all the weights and measures. And each morning and evening they stood before the Lord to sing songs of thanks and praise to him. They assisted with burnt offerings that were presented to the Lord on Sabbath days, at new moon celebrations, and at all the appointed festivals. The required number of Levites served in the Lord's presence at all times, following all the procedures they had been given. And so, under the supervision of the priests, the Levites watched over the tabernacle and the temple, and faithfully carried out their duties of service at the house of the Lord. 1 Chronicles 24. This is how Aaron's descendants, the priests, were divided into groups for service. The sons of Aaron were Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar, and Ithamar. But Nadab and Abihu died before their father, and they had no sons. So only Eleazar and Ithamar were left to carry on as priests. With the help of Zadok, who was a descendant of Eleazar, and Ahimelech, who was a descendant of Ithamar, David divided Aaron's descendants into groups according to their various duties. Eleazar's descendants were divided into 16 groups, and Ithamar's into 8, for there were more family leaders among the descendants of Eleazar. All tasks were assigned to the various groups by means of sacred lots, so that no preference would be shown. For there were many qualified officials serving God in the sanctuary from among the descendants of both Eleazar and Ithamar. Shemaiah, the son of Nethanel, a Levite, acted as secretary and wrote down the names and assignments in the presence of the king. The officials, Zadok the priest, Ahimelech son of Abiathar, and the family leaders of the priests and Levites. The descendants of Eleazar and Ithamar took turns casting lots. The first lot fell to Jehoram, the second lot fell to Jediah, the third lot fell to Harim, the fourth lot fell to Sorom, the fifth lot fell to Malchijah, the sixth lot fell to Mejamin, the seventh lot fell to Hakaz, the eighth lot fell to Abijah, the ninth lot fell to Jeshua, the 10th lot fell to Shechaniah, the 11th lot fell to Elishib, the 12th lot fell to Jachim, the 13th lot fell to Huphah, the 14th lot fell to Jesheba, the 15th lot fell to Bilgah, the 16th lot fell to Immer, the 17th lot fell to Hezer, the 18th lot fell to Hepizezez, the 19th lot fell to Pethiah, the 20th lot fell to Jezkel, the 21st lot fell to Jachin, the 22nd lot fell to Gamul, the 23rd lot fell to Deliah, the 24th lot fell to Mosiah. Each group carried out its appointed duties in the house of the Lord according to the procedures established by their ancestor Aaron in obedience to the commands of the Lord, the God of Israel. These were the other family leaders descended from Levi. From the descendants of Amram, the leader was Shebuel. From the descendants of Shebuel, the leader was Jediah. From the descendants of Rehabiah, the leader was Ishiah. From the descendants of Izhar, the leader was Shelomith. From the descendants of Shelomith, the leader was Jahath. From the descendants of Hebron, Jeriah was the leader. Amariah was the second. Jahaziel was the third. And Jechamim was fourth. From the descendants of Uzziel, the leader was Micah. From the descendants of Micah, the leader was Shemur, along with Ashiah, the brother of Micah. From the descendants of Ashiah, the leader was Zechariah. From the descendants of Merari, the leaders were Mali and Mushi. From the descendants of Jesiah, the leader was Beno. From the descendants of Merari through Jesiah, the leaders were Beno, Shoham, Zakur, and Ibri. From the descendants of Mali, the leader was Eleazar, though he had no sons. From the descendants of Kish, the leader was Jeremiel. From the descendants of Mushi, the leader was Mali, Eder, and Jeremoth. These were the descendants of Levi in their various families. Like the descendants of Aaron, they were assigned to their duties by means of sacred lot, without regard to age or rank. Lots were drawn in the presence of kings David, Zadok, Ahimelech, and the family leaders of the priests and Levites. 1 Chronicles 25. David and the army commanders then appointed men from the families of Asaph, Heman, and Jeduthun to proclaim God's messages to the accompaniment of lyres, harps, and cymbals. Here's a list of their names and their work. From the sons of Asaph, there were Zachar, Joseph, Nethaniah, and Esarela. These worked under the direction of their father Asaph, who proclaimed God's messages by the king's orders. From the sons of Jeduthun, there were Gedaliah, Zeri, Jeshiah, Shemi, Hashabiah, and Mattathiah, 6 in all. They worked under the direction of their father Jeduthun, who proclaimed God's messages to the accompaniment of the lyre, offering thanks and praise to the Lord. From the sons of Hemam, there were Bukiah, Mattaniah, Uziel, Shebol, Jeremoth, Hananiah, Elitha, Gedalti, Ramamti, Ezer, Joshbekshah, Malothi, Hother, and Mahaziath. All these were the sons of Hemam, the king's seer, for God had honored him with 14 sons and 3 daughters. All these men were under the direction of their fathers as they made music at the house of the Lord. Their responsibilities included the playing of cymbals, harps, and lyres at the house of God. Asaph, Jeduthun, and Heman reported directly to the king. They and their families were all trained in making music before the Lord, and each of them, 288 in all, was an accomplished musician. The musicians were appointed to their terms of service by means of sacred lots, without regard to whether they were old or young, teacher or student. The first lot fell to Joseph of the Asaph clan and 12 of his sons and relatives. The second lot fell to Gedaliah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The third lot fell to Zachar and 12 of his sons and relatives. The fourth lot fell to Zeri and the 12 of his sons and relatives. The fifth lot fell to Nethaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The sixth lot fell to Bukiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The seventh lot fell to Azariah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The eighth lot fell to Jeshiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The ninth lot fell to Mattaniah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 10th lot fell to Shemi and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 11th lot fell to Uziel and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 12th lot fell to Hashabiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 13th lot fell to Shubal and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 14th lot fell to Mattathiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 15th lot fell to Jeremoth and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 16th lot fell to Hananiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 17th lot fell to Joshbekshah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 18th lot fell to Hananiah and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 19th lot fell to Malathi and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 20th lot fell to Elitha and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 21st lot fell to Hother and 12 of his sons and relatives. The 22nd lot fell to Gedalti and 12 of his sons and relatives. And the 23rd lot fell to Mahazioth and 12 of his sons and relatives. And the 24th lot fell to Ramamti Ezer and 12 of his sons and relatives. Okay, so they are, again, David is making sure that the work of worship is done, right? They have their worship team. Like many of us, we go to church. We're part of churches that have worship teams, and their worship teams are scheduled. Various people throughout the they did it according to a family, and all of their family was a part of the worship part. And then there were other people that were in charge of the gates. There were other people that were in charge of the sacrifices. I mean, all of those things that are put in place in order to make sure that worship was taken care of for the community. And we still have that today. We have people that are really should be, all of us. We've been given gifts. God has gifted all of us. They were obviously, some of them were very gifted musically. There were others who were gifted to be able to work at the gates. And guess what? We get to do that as well. You have different gifts that God has given to you, and you get to discover those gifts, how you're wired. And our worship today, we many times in many churches, the kids, they have their worship space where they go and they worship God. They learn the Bible. They listen to stories from the Bible, and then they do different crafts that are around that story that reinforce it. It's not just playtime. It is an important time for children to have ingrained in them. It's that Deuteronomy 6, ingraining in them the truth of God, the redemption of God, the deal with sin, this God who loves us and has a plan for us. Those are all very important things that are part of our worship. We have people who help with outside as people are coming in and they're being greeted and cared for and loved on, or pointed to the place where they can sign in if they're newcomers and they're guests, and they can come and learn more about the church and receive a free gift, because we want them to know that they're valued and important, and we see them. And they go from there, and there are greeters there at the doors, just like in the Old Testament, right? There's gatekeepers, there's greeters there at the doors, and people who are at the at a welcome area, a cafe area where people can come and they can get coffee, and they can begin to kind of wake up and get ready to come in and worship. And there's people that are there as they walk through the doors that are hosts. They're ushers that are helping people find their seats and making sure that they're getting all set. And then we've got people in the tech booth. They'd be like the Levites, right? They're like the Levites. They're getting ready to help the people that are up on the platform to worship God, and they're preparing to lift up their instruments and their voices to God and to lead the people, and just like the Levites. And then a pastor will come up, and he will like either a campus pastor or a pastor that's preaching will get up, and they will prepare the people's hearts and pray and receive an offering, right? There's sacrifices that happen in the Old Testament. We bring in a sacrifice of praise, a sacrifice of an offering, the first fruits of all that God has given to us, the first 10%, the tithe, and we give back to God. Why? Because His worship is important, and lifting up God and placing Him at the center of our lives, it's valuable, it's important, and we do it in the same way they did it in the Old Testament. We do it in the New Testament. Why? Because worshiping God is the center of our existence, and it's supposed to be. It shouldn't be optional. In this, it shouldn't be something that we're just like, I can take it or I can leave it. I'll show up every once in a blue moon, every 7 weeks now. That's the national average. Well, we'll just kind of show up whenever we get a chance. No, it should be a regular thing that we incorporate into our lives. So it's pretty incredible. Again, kind of get that 10,000 foot view of people who worship God, who make Him first, and who make sure that we incorporate our gifts and our service to the Lord. And so it might be helping with kids, it might be in any of these other areas, but you're needed, and you can be on the schedule just like these people were in serving God. That's one of the greatest things we get to do, is serve Him, both in the church and outside the church. All right, well, God bless you. I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Hope you have a great day.